MSNBC contributor Yamiche Alcindor said Monday that it's going to get old for President Joe Biden's administration to keep blaming former President Donald Trump for the state's amid the coronavirus pandemic. While appearing on Deadline, White House Alcindor was asked by host Nicolle Wallace how long she thought Biden would have the country's patience while his administration ramps up the coronavirus vaccine supply. It really is a question that is at the heart of why President Biden, every time you ask him about almost any topic, he brings it back to the coronavirus and brings it back to what he feels is the urgency that his administration needs to move with in order to get this pandemic under control, because they realize that they're on borrowed time. They're on time where Americans are continuing to see family members die of this pandemic, where people are losing their jobs, where America's terrified and completely upended, and at some point it's going to, of course, get old to say okay, well we didn't have but they're only 3 weeks into the Biden administration, but at some point Americans are going to turn around and say okay, but what are you doing for us now? We hired, she continued. In a net aired Sunday, Vice President claimed the administration had to start from scratch on vaccine distribution, saying there was no national strategy left over from the Trump administration. Dr. Anthony Fauci, the head of the National Institutes for Allergy and Infectious Disease, contradicted this claim when he said in a press briefing on 21 that we certainly are not starting from scratch because there is activity going on in the distribution. The Biden administration, also the Trump administration, on January 25 for the confusion over how much of the coronavirus vaccine was available across the nation, and on February 11 when they had not adequately planned for the distribution of the vaccine. The number one thing I hear from my sources when I say how bad is it worse than you thought it was when it comes to former President Trump's response to the virus. Literally 9 out of 10 times they say it's worse than we could have ever imagined, Alcindor. And the sense I get from administration officials is that they're dealing with a situation where President Trump just stopped caring about the virus, and that really meant that the things that needed to be getting done, they just weren't getting done. And I've heard from a number of people who say the plan was essentially to dump the vaccine into states and let states handle it. So what you have is a Biden administration that is, as Vice President Harris said, starting from scratch, and that is really, really hard, especially when you have so many Americans who went from, and I think a lot of them are still skeptical of taking the vaccine,